congratulations, another piece of silverware with Melbourne City. After what I imagine has been a really up and down season for you with the injury as well, Matt. How's it all sinking in?
Yeah, obviously, I think for most of the season, everything was going well up until my hamstring injury. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to, play out the whole season without before getting injured in the hamstring. So, it's been tough the last couple of months, obviously, because we put ourselves in a really good position, and then I was injured, and then obviously watching from the sideline, watching the boys, we went through a bit of a patch where we had a couple of draws, and teams were chasing us, but all in all, we were still consistent. The boys still got the results we needed, and we put ourselves. Oh, we've been consistent all year to win another Premier's plate. So it's amazing. Obviously, being here for 2 seasons now, and coming up Premiers both years. Standards are set high here, and that's what we want to achieve each year. And it's not easy, but we've been good enough for the past 2 seasons to be able to do that.
You look like you hadn't missed a beat when you played the other night. Matt, I think it was an assist, and you were certainly involved with a couple of other goals. Do you feel like the way you've timed that recovery, you're set to really go into this final series flying?
Yeah, well, when I first got injured, it was spoken that it would probably be about 8 weeks, which led us to having 2 games left in the season, which is better than 10 and having to try to get straight back into playing with finals. So I guess these 2 games are really important for me to try to get my fitness up, match fitness, and it's just really good to be back out there. As I said, 8 weeks, it felt like a very long time for myself, and I really enjoyed being out there again, coming on with the last 30. Obviously the game was open a little bit, and coming off the bench, making a immediate impact. That's sort of what you want from your subs. So yeah, it was a good night for us, for myself, and just move on with trying to do all the right things to stay fit.
Matt, I wanted to ask you about your adjustment period this season. Obviously, you went to the World Cup when Patrick was your coach, and when you've come back, Rado's your coach here at City. And obviously, you've still got on and won silverware, so nothing's gone wrong. But what was the adjustment period between the two approaches?
Yeah, well, I think when Rado took over, obviously a lot stayed the same in the sense that there's a certain way we want to play and be as a club. So that sort of dented into the philosophy of the club. But obviously Rado coming in, he has his own sort of things he likes to do and change, like every coach. Which I think when he first arrived took a bit of time. A few weeks, but once we trained on it and understood what he wanted, it started to sort of be what was normal for us, and training and practicing certain things and certain ways of playing. It always takes time, so I think now the way Rado wants to play and the way we want to play, it's very much the same. It's just minor things on the field that we do differently, but in terms of us as a team, we still want to dominate the game in possession. We still want to press teams and play with high intensity. So a lot of it's the same.
One of the things Rado's talked about numerous times is he wants his attacking players, especially, to have more license to freelance and be a bit more creative and do things off the cuff. And watching someone like the back heel assists and the like that you and Valon and Richard have been doing throughout the season, it looks like you're doing that. But how does that affect the way that you approach things, you yourself, and when you're trying to react to what your teammates are doing on the pitch? What sort of dynamics are going through your head?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where you sort of play what you see in the moment, and with that freedom and doing it week in, week out, you just get used to each other. What type of runs players like to make, what type of balls they like to play, and also, someone like Jamie, what areas he's going to be in to be able to, assist him. So, I think Rido likes to, control the game a lot and control the game in the front third. So, there's a lot of times where, the opposition is, parked back in their back third, and obviously things are tighter, so it sort of takes, a back heel or something not so obvious to break through them. So I think some days obviously, or some games, it obviously looks more fluid than others, but I think the more and more we do it, the more and more there's an understanding between us.
You mentioned J-Mac there, Matt, breaking the all-time scoring record. I mean, how does he keep doing this? How does he know where to be when the ball drops in the box? Because they're all three pretty typical J-Mac finishes on the weekend.
Yeah, it's just it's a skill, it's a talent. We speak about in football, players technically, how they're fast, what type of weapons they have, and this is just one of those things where it's not something really that you can teach. He's just got it. He's always in the right spot at the right time. He's very focused on his job at hand, and I think also very disciplined and calm, I guess, because there's games where he's maybe not so much involved, and for players that can be very frustrating. But I think his mental mindset is that he knows he's going to get a chance. And for me personally, I think I'd get pretty frustrated in that position, because sometimes you probably feel that you're not getting much of the ball and you want more, but that's just what Jamie is, and that's it. It's like I said, you can't teach it. It's an amazing talent to have, and it's almost unbelievable how he's always in the right position. And people always talk about, like, there's Jamie again and again, and some of the goals that he scores, it's like very unexpected, or you just sometimes can't believe that the ball falls to him again, but it's happening week in, week out. So it's not by fluke. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Matt, we talked just briefly before about second year here. You've got 2 premierships now. Grand final last year eluded you. Do you think this group has what it takes to go on and grab the toilet seat this season?
Yeah, we definitely have what it takes. I think we had what it took last year, but the funny thing with finals is obviously, it comes down to being good in every game, and you can't have an off game. So, looking at going into finals after this weekend, the teams that are in there, there's some very strong teams, and on their day, they're very, very good. So we know that we need to be at our best, and it's just one of those things in finals. Anything can happen. I think the season fixture tells a story of being a good team consistently throughout the whole year, and then obviously going into finals, it comes down to being good for those 3 games for us. Obviously we play the semis in the final. We need to be at our best for all 3 games to be able to do that.
Matt, how good a test is having the Wanderers heading into finals? Obviously, another finals-bound team. They've been pretty sturdy defensively generally this season. Is it a good test to get just before you get into the real pointy end of things?
Yeah, for sure. I think watching Wanderers, they've been very, very good. They've always been defensively strong and hard to break down. And there was criticism of them not scoring many goals, but now they're scoring 3-4 a game. So they've sort of brought it together all at the right time, and playing them in the last game is obviously a great opportunity to see where they're at and where we're at, and they're obviously fighting for the top 2 spots, so one of the better teams in the competition this season. So it'll be a tough game and an exciting one. I think, as I said, they're defensively hard to break down, but they're also, exciting in attack, and I think same goes for us. So hopefully it's an entertaining game, and we come out on top.
Time for a couple of more, guys, then we'll let Matt get off to his meeting.
I was going to ask, Matt, how frustrating was the timing of your injury when you were the informed player in the competition to be struck down at that moment? And has your return been, I guess, managed at all with finals in mind to try and get you right for these key games?
Yeah, it was obviously, disappointing for me. Obviously, whenever you ever get an injury, it's not what you want. And as I said before that, I was played basically every game, and I was in good physical shape. So when I first got injured, there was the diagnosis was that it would be an 8-week injury at least, and there was no reason to also try and rush back. I think the timeline was set up well, where if I come back fit after 8 weeks, there's 2 games left, which gives me the opportunity to get some game time for fitness. And obviously after this game we have a week off as well, which gives me more opportunity to train, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have an intern game. So fingers crossed, touch wood, that everything I stay healthy now, and I can go through those steps and be in the best shape I possibly can for finals.
Matt, just a little throw forward. I don't think the next Socceroos window is till June, but in terms of preparing yourself for this next phase of, so there's going to be qualifiers, there's going to be Asian Cup, that sort of thing. Do you feel like what you're doing now, in terms of a couple of years at City, I know you're coming off some good international form, has got you really primed to excel in this next cycle?
Yeah, I hope so. I think we want to, as a country, as a national team, go forward on our successes at the World Cup, and where it's a really positive mindset in the camp. And I think my past 2 seasons here have really put me in good physical shape. The training setup, the training loads, the way we train, the gym we do here, it's put me in really good shape, and it's only gonna help me with my career for those type of things, traveling, playing a lot of games. So yeah, I'm very happy with where I'm at in my career and being here at the club. It's been a great 2 years so far, and I'm enjoying it, obviously being back home as well.
Thanks, guys.
You see yourself here? Oh, sorry, Matt, you see yourself here for the long haul back in Melbourne?
Yeah, look, obviously I have another season here, and I'm enjoying myself, as I said. So we never know what happens from my side and from the club side. That'll happen in the future, but as I said, I'm really enjoying it.